What's up, EF? It's the last month of the year. We've got our December beers here for you. We're gonna run through it, but before we start, I just wanna say thank you to all the people who reached out about Emily and I's baby girl, Maylee. Becklin Casey was born on November 9th, and she's happy and healthy. She's doing really well, so thank you for everybody who reached out, appreciate that. Up first, we've got the return of our pear beers. So we've got fruit stand preserves with pears. We've got Gridsette. So we've done Gridsette in the past. We rebranded the label, made it its own brand, and this is a wet hopped version, so we're gonna dive into that. We've got the return of the fish series of beers. So we've got Colorado Brown. This is a stone fruit and dry hopped blend. We'll talk about that. And then we've got Freestyle number 6. It's a port barrel aged blend of farmhouse beers. And then we've got Fruit Stand with Marionberries and vanilla. You know we had to have one vanilla beer in this month's release. And then last but not least, we've got Bourbon Barrel Aged Funky Blender with Nectarines. So let's jump in before this pear beer gives us a little bit of a show here. So we love the pears that we did so much. This year we doubled or quadrupled how much we did. Last year we did 500 pounds. This year we did 2,000 pounds of 2 different varieties. This is with a different variety of pears than we did last year. This is with Bartlett pears. So this is like the traditional pear that you would see at a grocery store. So it's kind of when you think of a pear, or if you're married to a woman like I am, at certain times of the year, there's just pear stuff all over the place. And so that's what you think of when you're looking for this. And so this is with Bartlett pears. Over 4 pounds per gallon. It's just juice. It's just pear juice. Like I've tried this multiple times. Like when we were packaging it, I wanted to serve it straight up. Like it's just so good, it's so smooth. It smells like the juice, but also the skin of the pear. And I swear, just a hint of acidity. I don't know what it was with the pears, but I mean, this is easily the least acidic beer, one of the least acidic beers we've ever made. There's so much body from like the pear skin. You know, like the gritty, like I don't want to say grittiness, but like the texture of the pear flesh. That's what I taste in this. Even though, I mean, there's no solids in there whatsoever. It's just that body is coming through in this beer. It's phenomenal. So this is a really small blend, and it's an EF exclusive. So we're pumped for this one for y'all. Next up, we've got Gridsette. This is a beer that Eric came up with. And then, so it's like a table beer, table sour, medium acidity, if not on the lighter end of it. It's about just over 4%. But this year we wet hopped it. So we took fresh Cascade hops that came from Montrose. We took mature barrel-aged sour beer, added the hops into one of our fruiting tanks for about a week. Oh, look at that clarity. Whew. And we aged this beer on the hops for about a week. If you're keyed in on Instagram, you've seen our stories before. We did a tasting with this with our taproom staff a month or 2 ago, and it just blew me away. Like the aroma it's unlike any beer we've ever made. Like this is our same culture that we use for everything, but like the hops that we add in the brew kettle for the base beer, combined with the wet hops, it's not, you would never drink this and think that's a fresh hop beer, that's a wet hop beer. Like you would never think that. It's completely different. I don't know how we did it or what happened, but the results are amazing. Just I just was eating my kids' Halloween candy, right? Who doesn't? And Smarties. On the nose, like if Smarties had aromas, which I don't think they probably do, I think it's all taste, but just citrus. The citrus that we're pulling out of those hops is unlike I've already said it, unlike anything we've ever done before. Phenomenal beer. Team No Fruit, boom. We got one more for you as well, but you're gonna love this one. Next up, we've got the return of the Colorado Fish Series. This is with Browns. So, was that 2018? We did Colorado Brookie. It was a beer to benefit a local nonprofit that works to reintroduce and I want to say habitate, that's not a word, but to increase the habitat of native fish, right? We figured it out, we got that. that we had such great response. We wanted to keep doing these fish beers, and so a couple years ago we did Colorado
Cuddy was the first.
Colorado Cuddy was the first, because that's a native fish. I should know that because I got
Colorado
fish on my
Brookie
hat.
was the second.
We'll edit that out. Colorado brookies are not native to Colorado, and but we liked the idea of it, and so we continued to do this series with the game fish in Colorado, whether or not they're native anymore, and we still donate a proceed of the sales of this brand to that same charity. Even though, again, we know a brown trout is not native to Colorado, but there are wild in Colorado now, and they're fun to catch. So here we are. This blend, more important than the whole history of where brown trout came from, is a blend of undertone with apricots and dry hops. So it was Motueka dry hopped with apricot undertone, and then we added peach funky blender preserves. And so we blended those two beers together. So it's basically like a 50% of our normal dry, or even less. I think the dry hopping was even more subtle compared to the funky blender preserves with peaches. And the result is just delicious. It's like, we've never done this before, we're just gonna keep trying the things we've never done, and it's amazing. Standard, maybe even lower than standard KC acidity. You get a great expression of the apricots and the peaches. The dry hops are really present in the nose, but in the taste, very much more subdued. It's much more of the fruit characteristic that's coming through, and so I think it's a perfect blend of the dry hopping and the citrus from the apricots and the peaches. So big fan of this one. And since you're watching this, stay tuned on like Wednesday. We might have a couple bottles of the older fish beers available for secondary, like during the secondary sales. So look for that. I'm gonna come back to this one. That's good. Freestyle number 6. This is a blend of Funky Blender and East Bank that was aged in ruby and tawny port barrels. Was it East Bank? Russ doesn't know. He wrote the label. I made the beer. I should probably know as well. Yeah, East Bank and Funky Blender. Nailed it. And so these were some port barrels that we got. This was aged for a long time in those barrels. And they were aged for a long time before that in neutral French oak barrels. Again, look at that clarity. In the nose, I just get such sweet caramel aromas from the barrel used. These were just, I think we got 4 barrels total, so we aged two different types. So this is since this is Freestyle 6, we have Freestyle 7, which is with different barrels, but this is with the ruby and the tawny port barrels. And so it's a blend of 1 barrel of each of them, aged for a long amount of time. Big caramel notes, still like a hint of citrus. In the taste, it's really, what's that called? Like when you, with the dessert, where you like char the top of it. Russ knows. What is it, Russ? No, he doesn't know. Okay.
Creme brulee.
Creme brulee. Yeah, he did know. See, it's like creme brulee. You got that, like those complex caramelizations in the taste. Medium acidity, but like there's still some like citrus, like lime characteristic in there as well. Super drinkable, but complex. A great sipping beer for sure. We don't have the label for it yet. We're filming this a little bit early because of the holiday week. And so we've got Marionberry fruit stand with vanilla. Like I said earlier, we had to throw one vanilla beer in there. So, this is with Marionberries from the Pacific Northwest. Fruit stand, so it's the Saison base beer with whole Madagascar vanilla. I love the sweet, I talk about it all the time, but I love the sweetness and the unfermentable sugars that you get from these types of berries, and pairing that with the vanilla just accentuates the perceived sweetness, and that's what this blend is. This is a super tiny blend. It was just really fun to do. It's got foam stability, which a lot of our vanilla beers don't have, so I'm pumped on that. and it just comes across as sweet. A great dessert beer. Easy one that you could pair with any type of dessert. It's got some of that, like I said, the body from those berries, and I'm pumped on it. Last but not least, we have Nectarine Funky Blender aged in bourbon barrels. The majority of the bourbon barrel beers that we've done in the last 8 years have been the preserves version, and so we've started to hear what people have to say about what they're looking for from a price point standpoint, and so we've started to make these types of beers in that non-preserves version, so about the 2 pound per gallon range, which really accentuates or allows the complex characteristics from the bourbon barrel to come through a little bit more, a little bit earlier in the bottle's lifespan. Nectarines, I'm a huge fan, it goes without saying. I mean, if anything, look, just the foam, like what nectarines, I don't know what's in the nectarines, just the foam is amazing. Just cream, it's just creamy. Medium acidity, low medium acidity, but it's just creamy. The bourbon characteristics are there. It's kind of like the vanilla that we use, but it's a little bit more present in the aroma than it is in the taste. Massive amounts of nectarines. I gotta check with Eric. Maybe he's not blending this down like he needs to. Like, there's that much fruit. Of course, I'm just joking, but there's so much fruit, and it's just tasty. If you want a hint of that bourbon characteristic in it, when it's this young, I think the fruit is definitely outweighing any of the bourbon background, but it's there in the aroma. But it's tasty, creamy. The body is big, and it's just a good beer. And now look at all these. Foam, still have foam in all of these. God, I love it. Thank you for watching this. If you watched this long, thank you for watching this. Hope you all have a good Thanksgiving weekend, or already had a Thanksgiving, because this is going to come out on Friday after. So happy Black Friday. Have a great weekend,